This is probably Lesedi Molapisi's most viral tweet, and some people did catch feelings because it felt like Lesedi was shading people who are not living a soft life. Some people, especially in South Africa, were not sure how to feel. It really didn't make sense how this tweet would affect any South African because Lesedi is a Botswana woman. But 2 weeks after she posted this, Lesedi was in South Africa. She managed to pass through the OR Tambo International Airport in South Africa with over 31 million rand worth of dope. She boarded her flight and then also passed through an airport in Doha in Qatar with the same package. And then she was only stopped and arrested after landing at an airport in Bangladesh. A few hours after her arrest, this tweet went viral. It went viral in Botswana and in South Africa. And as it stands, Lesedi is making international headlines as she's currently the only African woman who is on death row in Bangladesh. And in case you're still wondering what does this have to do with South Africa? Well, this is the story of how what started as an innocent tweet now affects not only her birth country of Botswana, but it also affects South Africa. It affects Doha in Qatar, it affects Nigeria, it affects Ghana, and of course, it affects Bangladesh. This is Lesedi Molapisi's story.
A naughty girl. I was surprised indeed to hear that he was arrested in Bangladesh. I didn't know that he's engaged in all these things.
Welcome to True Crime Julia. On this channel, we look into true crime cases that have happened in South Africa. Of course, today's story is not a South African story per se, but as I was listening to some interviews done by Lesedi's father, I realized that South Africa will always be in it. So a quick disclaimer, the story is based on a completed court case. A sentence of the death penalty was handed, but as it stands, there is an appeal legal process that is currently underway in Bangladesh. So there is another active court case. Please also note that we have consulted with a lot of Botswana media, some Nigerian media, and Ghana reports. We have also went through a lot of South African media reports for this story. So let us get into it. A lot of us would not know who Lesedi Molapisi is if it wasn't for this tweet. So let us get to know her from this tweet. It's called X now, but it was Twitter then. So for the sake of this report, please stick with me and let's just call it Twitter. So on January 10, 2022, Lesedi Molapisi posted this on her Twitter page. Just a girl catching flies and not feelings. And then on January 18, 8 days after the viral tweet, Lesedi apparently left her home in Botswana to come to South Africa. On January 20, Lesedi was in South Africa. According to her dad, Molapisi, her family had no idea that she was catching flights. Lesedi's father is a police sergeant and a station commander based in Shagawe in Botswana. He was with the police force for over 41 years. He says, growing up, Lesedi was a good girl. He says he raised her and her 2 siblings in church, the Roman Catholic Church. Lesedi loved church so much, she was always at the forefront of anything to do with youth activities in church. He says in 2015, Lesedi was even selected as part of a young group that traveled to Brazil for youth camp, fully paid by the church. Please note this, it will be very important later on. The family is originally from Ramotswe. They moved to Gaborone, and then Mudimu got a promotion at work. He moved to Shagawe. He left Lesedi and her older sister in Gaborone. He says Lesedi graduated in accounting and she was staying in Gaborone with her sister who was working while she herself was looking for a job. So 3 months before the viral tweet, Mudimu says his daughter visited him in Shagawe, and at the time, Lesedi was just looking for jobs, and he took care of her. He says Lesedi would ask for money for small things like transport to go up and down while looking for a job. He says she told him that she was hustling, and this would bother him so much because what does she mean she is hustling when she could just apply for a job? But Lesedi is very active on social media, and her life there, it painted a very different picture from what her father knew. So remember, Mudimu says Lesedi went abroad once as far as he knows. This was in 2015 to Brazil for the church youth camp. Well, that was not the only time Lesedi traveled. In May 2019 and in June, Lesedi traveled to Mumbai in India. She also went to Ethiopia, and then she also posted videos of herself partying at a club in Nigeria. This all captured on her social media pages in the same year. It appears that Lesedi was well traveled, and in most of her travels, she only posted content in hotel rooms and also at the airport and inside airplanes. Nothing of any vacation-like activities or tourist stuff or pictures or videos like that were posted. South Africa was also her favorite travel spot. In most of her posts in the following years, she was either in Durban or in Pretoria. Her father says the family didn't know about her travels or that she had any money. He says they knew her to be unemployed, and in most cases they took care of her. But on her social media, Lesedi was living a soft life, buying new phones, buying clothes, hotel stays, going out with friends, and just living a very soft life and catching flights. Her dad also says they didn't know any of her friends. He also says he doesn't know that Lesedi had some friends in South Africa and that some of her friends were Nigerian men.
Not again. I was surprised indeed to hear that he was arrested in Bangladesh. I didn't know that he's engaged in all these things.
In March 2021, one of Lesedi's Nigerian friends introduced her to an offer she could not refuse. Now, according to some Nigerian reports, this friend was apparently her boyfriend. The man is a wealthy businessman and he is also popular. According to her dad, and this information he only found out later on when he spoke to Lesedi, he says the friend wanted to help her because she was unemployed. The friend told her to go to Bangladesh and buy good quality ready-made clothes there and then come back and sell them in Botswana. The clothes were apparently of the world's greatest quality. And once she came back, the clothes were hers and the friend would actually pay her for her flight tickets and also make sure she gets accommodation when she gets to Bangladesh. All of this at no charge, just the goodwill of the friend. Now, somehow, the friend gets a business owner in Bangladesh. He gets the owner to write a visa invitation letter to the Bangladeshi High Commission here in South Africa in Pretoria. This to apply for a travel visa for her. The letter was written on March 3, 2021, so basically a year earlier, and then she got the visa. Now back to our timeline that we started with. From November 2021, Lesedi was staying with her dad in Shagawe for about 3 months. On January 10, she drops the now infamous tweet. On January 18, she asks her dad for money. She says she wants to travel, but she doesn't say where to, so he doesn't know where exactly she's going, but he gives her just enough for a bus fare. On January 19, Lesedi then travels to South Africa. And then when she gets there, the friend who told her about the amazing trip then asks her to take a parcel with her to Bangladesh for a friend who is hosting her when she arrives there. The package was 3 separate bags. They were packed by the friend in a bag that they gave to Lesedi to travel with. She posts this picture. Just a girl sharing her cute nails. She then arrives at the OR Tambo International Airport. She checks in and passes through with her handbag and the parcel in a travel wheelie bag. The package is worth over 3 kg. This is amounting to over 31 million in South African rands. She starts to board into the flight. No issues, not even a single detection of a package at the South African airport. So she gets into the flight and she is gone. Her first stop is Doha in Qatar. Same story, Lesedi passes through absolutely with no issues. Now this looks easy enough for her, as you can imagine. Then she boards into a flight to her final destination. That too seems like easy work at this point. She gets into the flight and then she makes way to Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport in Bangladesh. Lesedi arrives at the airport on January 23. Upon arrival, she is stopped by the Bangladeshi customs officials together with the Bangladeshi's National Security Intelligence. The interception happened as she was crossing the Green Channel at the airport. The Green Channel is typically for passengers who have nothing to declare. Customs scanned her luggage, which triggered further investigation. When they opened her wheelie bag, inside there were 8 poly bags, which together contained 3.146 kg of what was later confirmed to be dope. During questioning, Lesedi denied having any dope or anything to declare. However, the physical evidence in her luggage contradicted that. After her arrest, the seized package was handed over to the Department of Narcotics Control for lab testing. Lesedi was then arrested on the spot.
I was surprised indeed to hear that he was arrested in Bangladesh. I didn't know that he's engaged in all these things.
I'm told when she left Pretoria for Bangladesh, that one person who was facilitating this visa just told her that, no, I'm having some pulses for that person who's going to accommodate you in Bangladesh. And they give my daughter those 3 bags. And then there were small bags, and then they put those 3 bags in her luggage. And we can ask yourself, how did she manage to go through Oliver Tambo? Because we have scanners at the airport. But he managed to go through Oliver Tambo and he connected to, somewhere in Doha, yes, to Bangladesh. But they were not intercepted up until she arrived in Bangladesh. And I'm informed those officers, security officers, they were alerted by somebody who told them that, yeah, that young girl is having this and this and that and that. That is how she was arrested.
To Bangladesh authorities, it seemed straightforward. She arrived, she had the package, she must face the law. But to her family back in Botswana, it didn't make sense. Her father states that we didn't know that she had traveled, we didn't know about Bangladesh. When news reached us, we were shocked. He says he found out through media reports and that while he was trying to figure out what was happening, he got a call from a Bangladesh law firm who had details of her daughter and they were willing to help get her back home. But it seemed that the family were being triggered or scammed by a lot of people for money during this time. So then he gets another call from another organization of African lawyers in Bangladesh who actually did help the family get hold of her, and then they worked with the Botswana government to help her get in touch with her lawyer. And the Botswana High Commissioner Gilbert Mangole, who is in India, because Botswana does not have a high commission in Bangladesh.
Those news are really affecting us. And we appeal to all the people who are using this news media platform to assist us, to pray for my daughter. And on the contrary, they are not assisting us. It is like we have taken part in the offense that has been committed by my daughter. And that is not right. I'm not happy as to how they are commenting on the social media. Some are suggesting, really, that they are indicating, there is indication that they want to hear that my daughter has been executed.
So remember I had said that this viral tweet now affects a lot of countries. So this tweet was indeed made in Botswana, but we understand now that this was after Lesedi had gotten confirmation of her travel arrangements. So she was in contact with a Nigerian friend/boyfriend who was in South Africa. The friend/boyfriend was the one responsible for this letter, which was written to the Bangladesh High Commissioner in Pretoria. He allegedly packed the package for her while here in South Africa. She traveled from here in South Africa. And then I was just shocked that a powerful and strict country like Qatar would also miss this, because in South Africa, it's said how this is common, but in Qatar, I would have thought they would be stricter. So, of course, the Nigerian boyfriend at this point is a powerful link, but soon after he heard that she got arrested, he allegedly left South Africa and then went back to Nigeria. And at this moment, he's apparently in Ghana. So while Lesedi got arrested, she unfortunately was by herself. Now her family was left to deal with the mess, especially because Bangladesh is very strict. This particular crime carries death penalty, a penalty carried out by hanging. For Lesedi, a foreigner, the odds were always stacked against her. From 2022, Lesedi remains in prison. She reportedly continues to tell her dad that she never knew anything about the package in her bag. Meanwhile, her trial proceeded in Bangladesh. On May 28, 2024, a Dhaka court sentenced her to death after finding her guilty. However, Lesedi's lawyers filed an appeal. Appeals in Bangladesh can take up to 2 years, so the appeal process is currently underway. This could have meant one thing: she cannot legally be executed while the appeal is pending.
Who is your legal representative on this issue or on this case?
Now I don't want to reveal her name for security reasons.
Yes, makes sense.
That lawyer who is representing my daughter is not safe in Bangladesh. Because they are choosing her, saying that how can you come and represent the foreigner?
Or like it's a Bangladeshi.
Yes. And then he's not free. Even in court, he was not allowed to articulate herself when he was presenting, talking to, trying to say something. He was not free.
Earlier this year, there was chaos. Social media platforms across Africa erupted with headlines claiming that Lesedi Molapisi was executed in Bangladesh. Some posts even listed the exact date. Others cited unnamed official sources. None are verified. Lesedi's father says he was shocked when he woke up to messages of condolences on that day. The Botswana government also stepped in. They clarified that no execution has been communicated, an appeal is still pending, diplomatic efforts are underway, and President Duma Boko is preparing to engage Bangladesh's president about the matter. There is a possibility of extradition for Lesedi to serve time in Botswana instead.
Yes, they are making some arrangement to communicate with the government of Bangladesh. That currently they are in the process of doing that.
And Ndata, you say that you are hopeful that Lesedi will be brought back home from the Bangladesh prison and will be saved from execution. Should you see your daughter again, what is the first word or sentence? What's the first thing you would say to her?
The first thing I will do, I will just take her to for counseling. I will take her to those who are professionals so that they can counsel her. And then after that, we'll sit down and then talk as to whether to find out how she went to Bangladesh, because he never informed us that she was going to Bangladesh.
Here's what we do know for facts so far. Lesedi was arrested with a package. She was sentenced to death. An appeal was filed, and an active appeal legally prevents execution. Neither Botswana nor Bangladesh has confirmed an execution. Her father receives updates through her lawyers, and diplomatic talks are underway. Everything else remains unverified, and that uncertainty is what makes this case so haunting. The story of Lesedi Molapisi is more than a criminal case. It is a lesson on the dangers of soft life. Keeping secrets from a family is also a red flag. Trusting people too much. Why is anyone responsible for your travel luggage? And as if she really didn't know anything about the package. So what are your thoughts on this one? Why is our biggest port of entry being used like this? Are we even safe? Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.